Okay, guys, it is Coach Carl back again with this episode 4 of the 1L Playbook podcast. I'm doing an Instagram Live as my initial point of contact for folks who want to hop on and ask questions. Um, all day today, I've been thinking about what to talk about. So much information that I think the 1L needs to have and the 1L needs to know as they go into their go through their first semester or even their second semester. So um, I was thinking today, what can I talk about that would be of value to you all? Let me sit down here. It's been a long day. So what I decided to talk about today was I want to give you some tips, some more tips around the topic of studying. I kind of touched on it a little bit in episode 4. I think this is episode 5. I think that we're in now. Is it 5 or 4? I'm just all confused. I think we're in episode episode 5. Yeah. So I talked a little bit about it in episode 4, pertaining to like how to write, how to draft your outlines, how to stay on top of your outlines. And this is so important. This is so critical to your success when it gets ready, when you're getting ready for your exams, that I can never overemphasize this. But let me give you a tip that I used when I was in law school that kind of helped me prepare for the exams even more. Because what you're going to learn, and what I'll start teaching more of as we go through the podcast, is that there's two things that you have to really compartmentalize. You have to first think about you learning law as concepts in law that you just flat out have to memorize, flat out have to know like the back of your hand. Okay? And you are able to do that very efficiently and very effectively by just building your outlines as you go and studying those outlines as you go. Then the other part of it, knowing the law, is being able to have the right formula, which is what I also teach, on how to take that information that you've memorized and that you've put in your head and put it into an exam format. And the only way that you get good at that is by practicing it. Some people are naturally good at it, but most are not, because they just don't know the technique. If you know the technique, then it becomes easy to you. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. As soon as you start trying to ride a bicycle as a kid, it seems like the hardest thing in the world to do. But once you learn the techniques, once you learn the rules of riding a bike, and you knew the mechanics, yeah, you may have fell down 1 or 2 times, but even now to this day, you may not have gotten on a bike in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but as soon as you get on the bike, you can be able to ride it. So it's the same thing kind of applies for actually right now a law school exam. Some 2Ls or some 3Ls know exactly what I'm talking about. For the 1L, you just don't know. And that's why we're here, to try to demystify that. But anyhow, getting back to this tip that I want to give you guys today is, as you're building your as you're building your outlines, and you're updating those outlines every couple of days, every week, the key to me, what helped me, is look at every topic, every subject that you're studying, whether it be torts, contracts, criminal law, evidence, whatever it may be. Look at those subjects as being like departments in your business. It's the best way to describe it. And you want to make sure that you're on top of every single department. You don't want no department in the company, quote unquote, in my analogy, to go to not be properly managed. So the best thing that I did was I had this idea that if somehow every single day I can review, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes, I can review my notes, which in this case were my outlines, for every subject, every day, throughout the semester. By the time it came around time for me to get ready for the exam and have to memorize all these concepts and all these laws, I already knew them because I was looking at them every single day. And I know this may sound like a big drag, but in actuality, it is so simple, and it makes everything so much easier because again, you're building your outlines on a daily basis with new information that's coming in by way of briefing your cases, by way of extracting that information. So every day you're putting it down, you're writing it, then maybe you're typing it out, and then you're reviewing it. So if you do that every single day with every single subject from top to finish, from top down, even if it's just glancing through it, just seeing it, just touching it, every single day, it's going to make your process of preparing for at least that one half of the exam writing process. That one half of the exam writing process, it's going to make that so much easier. Now, when it comes to the other side, we'll get to that, and we're here to answer questions and try to give you the formulas that you need to be able to make sure that that side also takes care of itself. But when it comes to just learning the law and knowing what those terms are well enough that you can be able to recall it, I can tell you, I can ask you, today, what are the elements of battery? What's the element of, what's the law on involuntary manslaughter? What do I need to have murder? What do I need to have a contract? You being able to give me with a snap, with a drop of a hat, you can be able to tell that to me without looking at anything, then I know that you at least have a good command over the law. So that's basically it, guys, for today. I just wanted to just break that down. I think what I'm going to do next show is talk to you guys about the kind of come back to the differences between studying for getting ready for your exams for law for college versus getting ready for your exams in law school, and the stark differences. And by you knowing these differences, you won't have any surprises when it comes time to actually take the exams. So I think tomorrow or the next day I'll talk about that. Of course, guys, if you have any questions, you can DM me. You can email me at support@1lplaybook.com. I actually have a website that I'm working on. Excuse me, with my cough, my goodness. I have a website that I'm working on now. I have an ebook that I just finished that I'm going to be releasing, but I should have a pre-order up pretty soon. That's going to break down even more all these concepts that I'm telling you now, and kind of give you more of a deep dive. And by you being able to read this short but effective ebook, it's going to just open up your eyes even more. And anything that's still cloudy, you'll be able to pick it up and figure out exactly what I'm talking about. But even if you don't, you can always call, you can always email me, DM me, and then we can be able to kind of take it from there, and I can help you out. All right, so that's it. Also, subscribe to 1L Playbook on YouTube. That's where I'll be replaying these videos. Also, subscribe to my podcast, 1L Playbook Podcast. That's also going to be found on Anchor, Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts as well. I just started a Twitter page as well, so I'll be putting some content on there too. But let's have fun with this thing, and until next time, holla back.